So you're in track and field and you're just a naturally gifted athlete. You're good at everything, but you're unsure at which event is best for you. Here are a few tips to help you decide which events are best for you. Let's define what a super athlete is. You know those people that grab a golf club for the first time and they hit it for the very first time and it flies like 100 yards? That person who just tries something for the very first time and just gets it and is better than most people? That's what a super athlete is. Just a random person who's good at everything. So when you are good at everything, you're going to be fast in the 100, you're going to be fast in the hurdles, you're going to be able to run a great mile time. If I'm good at everything, which events should I do? If you leave the decision up to your coach, it's good, because a knowledgeable coach will have you in the best events in the correct schedule that allows you to be the best you can be. If the coach isn't as knowledgeable, then that coach is going to be excited and put you in every event that you can win and just have you going. Then the problem would be you're going to be tired at the end of the season and your body's going to falter. But if you decide to choose your events, then you want to pick what's fun. You only want to choose events that are fun, because when you're running and training and feeling like throwing up and you can't do anymore, you're always going to think about, why am I doing this? And when you ask yourself that question, you're going to say, because the event that I chose for myself is fun. This is training to enjoy my event. If you choose to do multiple events, you want to start by choosing events within the same family. For example, if you're a 100-meter runner, you want to find events that are within the sprint family. Here are the events that are within the sprint family. If you enjoy running long distance, here are the events within the long distance family. If you like field events, here are the events within the field event family. Now let's say you want to do one event from one family and an event from another family. You need to figure out, does that mesh well? Now when I say mesh, I mean mesh as in, does it fit within a daily schedule of a normal track and field meet? Just because you're good at multiple events does not mean you're a decathlete or a heptathlete. It just means you're good at multiple events. The hep and dec are professional events. I'll make another vlog about that concept later, but for now, let's keep focusing on this. When you cross families, whether it's sprints, field events, distance, there's a way to do it. And if you don't do it correctly, you're going to put yourself in a very vulnerable position. Look at the high school schedule. If you love running distance, let's say the 1 mile and 2 mile, the schedule shows you run the 1 mile early in competition, then the 2 miles later on. It gives you enough time to rest and recover. If you're a sprinter, you can run the 100, the 200 is later on. If you're a jumper, the jumps are spread out where they're back to back, but it gives you time to rest and recover. But let's say you want to run the relay. You can't run the 2 mile, then turn around and run the relay. Doesn't make sense. Also, you can't run the 100-meter dash and run the 800. Doesn't make sense. Why? Because look at the scheduling. In California, here is our list of events. If you're long jumping and running, let's say the 400, you may have a problem because the 400 is going to take a lot of energy out of you. The same thing with the 300-meter hurdles. If you're running 300-meter hurdles, it may be hard to try to triple jump after that event. There are two grueling events. Now, there are some events that do work. When I was in high school, I did the 110-meter hurdles and all the jumping events. I was able to do long jump, the hurdles, and then triple jump after that. It made sense. High jump I did in between the events. So I was busy all day, but it made more sense. And that's just talking about the events. When you talk about training, training typically is about 3 times the amount of the event. So if you're running a 100, you're going to expect to be running upwards of 400-meter runs within your training in order to handle a 100-meter run. 200, you may expect running, 600s. If you're running a mile, you're going to be running 2 to 3 miles plus, just to make yourself an effective runner in the 1 mile. So if you're a sprinter and you're running longer distances, let's say the 400, and you run the 400 in your events, it makes sense because you're running the 400-meter relay that helps you develop in the 200 and also the 100. Now let's say you do the 100-meter hurdles and you also do a jumping event. Then you have to balance out. I'm going to hurdle on these days, I'm also going to jump on these days, and have certain days for training. That will fit within your schedule. One thing you want to look at is if you're good at a lot of events. You want to first look at which event am I the best at? Meaning, if I'm ranked in the state and I can make it to a state championship in the long jump, then I see myself enjoying the 400. I really love that event, but I'm ranked maybe the best in our section. I may focus on the long jump simply because the long jump will get me to state and give me the experience. Now let's say you have to improve 2 seconds in the 400 just to make the state championship, but you're 4 inches away in the long jump. That's where you would only use a 400-meter dash as a training tool to develop your long jump. And if you are doing 4 events, you always want to tailor your workouts to benefit whatever your best event is. Now as you're training, let's say one of your weaker events gets stronger, it matches and becomes one of your better events, then you simply switch those two. But if your ultimate goal is to get to the state championship, you want to train the event that can get you to the state championship. The other events are all just backups. They're all in favor of the event that you're trying to get the state in. So let's say you have 2 events that don't really mesh within a track and field schedule, but you really want to do them. How do you do it? Simple. You just focus on one event this track meet. That's it. You focus on maybe the sprint family events. Then the next track meet, you focus on the jumping family events. Then you can get both events down, you train for that, and now let's say you get to a point to where you get to state championship or you get to a very high competition and you can't do both because they don't fit well within the schedule. You just choose one. That'll help you perform better because you would hate to have to do multiple events and you can't perform to your best ability because they're at the exact same time. So at the end of the day, when you're a super athlete, you want to be smart within your events. Yes, you're going to be good at everything, but you want to find the one that is the least resistance, that's going to make you want to train harder and get after it. Then once you learn one event and master it, then you add in another event. When you're really good at everything, choose one thing and train that while you train the other ones, but keep a little more focus on this thing until you're the best at it. Then when you're the best at it, then you want to pull another thing out of that, what I'm good at, and pull that up to be one of the best at. And then you keep pulling them up to where you're the best at everything. Then when you're the best at everything, you pull up one at a time and become the greatest at each thing you do. So be very specific. Don't overdo it. Don't kill yourself trying to do everything. Be specific on your training. Be specific on what your ultimate goals are and go from there. This topic is very important to me, so I'll probably make another video of this. But in the meantime, you can always comment below or send me an email at info@KeinanBriggs.com.